Welcome again to the Old Principal 老校长的英文节目. And here we are for another lesson. This will be lesson number 238. 238. The joke. The joke. So we will now listen as Connie reads the story, and I'll be back in just a moment.
Story 238. The Joke. One autumn, when things were slow, Mike took a few days off work to go deer hunting. Later, when he arrived back at his office, he let the workers all know that he'd brought back lots of venison. One of the office workers, named Jake, was a loner and never talked much. Somehow the workers had gotten into the habit of playing small jokes on him now and then. Mike decided that now was the time to have another little joke. He saved only the ears, the tail, and the hooves for Jake. He wrapped them up in a huge package, knowing everyone would laugh. Mike distributed his packages during the noon hour. He saved the biggest package of all until the very last. It was for Jake. The man who was so quiet suddenly began smiling. There was a tear in his eye. "Oh, Mike, I knew you wouldn't forget me," he said gratefully. "I knew that you really had a good heart." He went on. I know I've been kind of a quiet type. I never meant to be rude. You see, I've got 9 kids at home and a wife that's an invalid. And sometimes when she's really bad off, I have to sit up all night to take care of her. So most of my wages have had to go for doctors and medicine. It's even been hard to keep food on the table. But I want you to know that this meat really means a lot to me." He tugged at the string. Suddenly Mike dove toward Jake, trying to grab the package away, but he was too late. Jake examined each hoof, each ear, and then he held up the tail. It wiggled limply. Nobody laughed. Everybody held his breath as Jake looked up and said, "Thank you," while trying to smile. Silently, one by one, each man moved forward, carrying his own package, and quietly placed it in front of Jake.
Welcome back. Here we go. One autumn when things were going slow. Now, this is nice English, but it, at least on the surface, 字面上，比较不容易理解. So, one autumn when things, autumn of course is 秋季, okay? One autumn when things were going slow. So when things are going slow simply means that the business, 他的生意比较慢, or his work, whatever his work is, 不忙. So Mike, and probably in this case, Mike is the 老板, because if he decides to take a few days off, then he takes a few days off. And that means he's going to take a little vacation. And he decided to do something. He took a few days off to go deer hunting. 他要去打猎. Okay, so he is going to be hunting for deer. 山鹿, 鹿. Okay, going on. Later, when he arrived back in his office, he let the workers all know that he had brought back lots of venison. Okay, when he arrived back in his office, so he's been away for a few days. Now he returns back to his office. He let them know, he told the office workers that he had brought back lots of venison. Lots of venison. What is venison? Venison is lu rou. Okay? I remember my dad often went deer hunting. So I have eaten venison when I was younger, that is. I have eaten venison, 这个鹿肉. So he brought back a lot of this going on. One of the office workers named Jake was a loner and never talked much. Okay? So he's now explaining the office workers, and one of them was a loner. Okay, what is a loner? A loner is the person that prefers 他宁愿在一起 even if, okay, even if he's with the group. 如果他在很多人的中间呢, he prefers to be by himself, a loner. A loner is a person who doesn't have many friends. So some people are that way. 很安静. They are loners. They are happy by themselves. They do not need lots of friends. They do things by themselves. Okay? Usually we don't know much about these people because they like to be alone. They are loners. Okay? So one office of the workers, 他们的办公室其中的一个工作人员, his 名叫 Jake. He was a loner. He never talked much. He just didn't have much to say. Going on. Somehow the workers had gotten into the habit of playing small jokes on him now and then. Somehow, 不晓得这个他们怎么会这样做呢? Somehow the workers had gotten into the habit. 他们就开始有一个习惯 on him now and then, oran, now and then, oran, okay, playing small jokes on, 就跟他开玩笑, 跟他开玩笑. Sometimes it's more than just 开玩笑, 是有一点欺负他, 欺负他. Now, of course, the thing is, everything is good-natured, right? Everybody xi xi ha ha. But the person who receives this is not always so happy. Is that true? Yeah, it's true. We are all happy to play a joke on other people, but the person may not be so happy. So every now and then they would have some jokes or play some jokes on him. Go ahead. Mike decided that now was the time to have another little joke. He had, so this was another little joke. 时间已经到了 Mike 就决定还要跟他开个玩笑 Again, remember, there's a 可能有一点灰色地带 between playing a joke on. No, if you tell a joke, 是开玩笑. But if you play a joke on, sometimes 我认为是有一个灰色地带，不只是一个玩笑，是欺负人家了. So this is the gray area. So when you look at joke, please keep in mind that it could be more. And we will see in this story that that's true. he saved only the ears, the tail, and the hooves for Jake. Okay, so he's giving the good meat to everybody else, but he saved the ears and the tail and the hooves for Jake. So 他把这个耳朵、尾巴和这个蹄，他的脚啊，这是给 Jake. Of course, I mean, obviously, these are 没用, okay? This is, in his mind, a joke, right? It's just a joke. Well, you can already tell that it's not a real funny joke. Okay, going on, he wrapped them up in a huge package. So everyone got a package. 每个人得到一个包裹呢. So he gave a big package to Jake. Okay, knowing that everyone would laugh, everybody would have a good time. 每个人肯定会笑. Okay, they would laugh, 笑. Now, Mike distributed his packages during the noon hour. So at noontime, Mike, okay, 分给每一个人. Okay, distributed, so 分给人家了, distribute. During the noon hour, 这个中午时间, he saved the biggest passage of all until the very last. It was for Jake. 他就保留这个最大的包裹, the biggest package, he saved to the very end because it was for Jake. So everybody could hardly wait to see what was in it. And because it was big, it was different than what everyone else got. Go ahead. The man who was so quiet suddenly began smiling. 有微笑, 有微笑. To smile, 有笑容啊. Okay? He was so quiet. 他非常安静. And in fact, when he saw the big package, it says that there was a tear. What's a tear? 眼泪. In his eye, 在他的眼睛有眼泪. 这个可以看得出来. Going on. Mike, I knew you wouldn't forget me. So this is what he said. Mike, I knew that you wouldn't forget me. Okay, 我知道你不会忘记我. So you can imagine that he is always braced. 他随时已经准备人家就跟他开玩笑啊. I knew, 我知道 that you had a good heart. What does it mean to have a good heart? 你真的是有好心啊，有好心啊. Okay, you had a good heart. You're a good man. Going on. He went on, I know I've been kind of quiet type, but I never meant to be rude. 我知道，我是那种安静的、害羞的这种人 okay? Quiet type, a person who doesn't talk much. I have been a quiet type. But I never meant to, 但我的意思并不是要不礼貌的 rude, 不礼貌的 okay? I never meant, 我的意思并不是 I never meant, 我的意思并不是我要做一些不礼貌的事情。I'm just quiet. Going on. You see, I've got 9 kids at home and a wife that's an invalid. Ooh! You see, 你看, this is a very typical way of saying something. You see, 当一个人要解释某一件事情, he says, you see, that means this is the explanation. I've got 9 kids at home. 我在家有9个孩子们。9个孩子们。And a wife that's an invalid. 我太太是个 invalid. Now, maybe I need to explain what an invalid is. There is many types of invalids, but an invalid generally is a person or often cannot walk or cannot do something, and it's an invalid. He doesn't or she doesn't have the capacity or the ability to do something. Usually, but not often, usually 他们在床上, they are laying on a bed, sick bed. Going on. And sometime when she's really bad off, I have to sit up all night to take care of her. Sometimes when she's really bad off, that means 她发作的时候, 最严重的时候, I have to sit up all night to take care of her, which means that he doesn't get to go to sleep. 整个晚上, to sit up all night means to stay awake, usually sitting, all night, to 照顾她, to take care of her. Okay? Going on. For most of my wages have had to go for doctors and medicine. It's even been hard to keep food on the table. Okay, so now Jake is continuing to speak. Remember, he has not opened the package yet. He doesn't know that what's inside is not what he thinks is inside. Okay, but he continues to talk. 因此, so most of my wages, 我的薪水, 我的工资, have had to go, 必须用在 what? Doctors, of course, 医生的这个费用啊, and 药品, doctors and medicine. Of course, doctors and medicine are very expensive, right? Very, very expensive, doctors and medicine. Okay? It's even been hard to keep food on the table. Okay, what does that mean? It means it's been hard to provide food for my family. Now, when we say to keep food on the table, it just means to keep food supplied so that we have something to put on the table to eat. 等于说呢, 我们吃得不够. Going on. But I want you to know that this meat really means a lot to me. 但我要你知道 this meat, 这个鹿肉, right? This venison, this meat, really means a lot to me. 对我来说是非常有意义的，非常非常重要的。他有真正的是有感激的心啊。In fact, I think that's what it says. But I want you to know that this meat really means 对我来说是非常有意义的，有重要的。Wonderful. You could say almost anything. Go ahead. He tugged at the string. Okay, so again, this is a package, and it's wrapped up, and there is 绳子, okay? 绳子线这个所以他就拉这个线 okay, the string. Tugged 就是拉 okay, to pull at the string. Oh no, I imagine everybody is holding their breath. 现在四周围有很多人本来要笑，现在他们连呼吸也不敢呼吸。Suddenly, 突然间 Mike dove toward Jake. What does it mean to dive toward Jake? Okay, right now Mike realizes that his joke is not a joke. And so he dove. To dive 是跳, okay, like 跳水, to dive, to lunge, to move forward quickly. So he's moving toward Jake. He is trying to grab the package away from him. 这个试着要把这个 package 的包裹要向他这个抢走啊。But it was too late. 太迟了。Going on. Jake examined each hoof, each ear, and then he held up the tail. Okay? Jake 这个检查了 examined 查好好看查 each hoof 每一个蹄子它的脚 each ear 两个耳朵都看了 and then he held up the tail. He held up the tail. It wiggled limply. 无力地摇动着。无力地 limply. 无力地摇动着。Nobody laughed. Nobody laughed. I imagine at that time, the silence was just heavy. Everybody held his breath. 不能呼吸. As Jake looked up and said, "Thank you," while trying to smile. He was trying to smile. 试一试微笑 and he said, "Thank you." Going on. Silently, one by one, each man moved forward carrying his own package and quietly placed it in front of Jake. silently, 安安静静的，没有人说话，不用说话。到这种场面，这根本就不需要说什么话。Silently, one by one, 一个一个来。Each man moved forward, carrying his own package, and quietly placed it, 静静的摆在 Jake 的前面。Wow, what a story. I imagine Mike, the person who was going to joke, was totally embarrassed. I imagine that he never, ever did that again. I imagine, 我自己的思想想象 I imagine that the people in that office never ever again joked with Jake. 根本没有欺负他，没有跟他开玩笑。Why? Because they understood Jake's background, 他的背景。Let's take a look at our email address. We have an email address, theoldprinciple@gmail.com. We also have a website, and you can look at some of our past programs, www.theoldprinciple.org. Hey, it's been great having you along with us on this half-hour program, and we hope that you will join us again next time.